4,471 million for.
You know, the number one reason people attend auctions is because they're fun.
So there's a nostalgia, there's an attachment to cars. This car is fantastic.
There are very few brands I can say I haven't driven. The ultimate cruising car. Let's go for a ride.
It's not surprising that bidding for this rare and coveted model was fierce.
Yours call. Sold, sold, sold.
The 2023 Creative Rides auction at Monte Casino features more than 100 years of automotive history. From this veteran 1913 Hupmobile Roadster all the way down to modern classics like the Dodge Ram, Alfa Romeo GT and Ford Mustang. Almost every car building nation is also featured. From Japan to the US, from Germany to South Africa, there's even something from Brazil. Before getting into the auction, let's head over to the Creative Rides showroom in Bryanston to take a look at some of the cars that will be going under the hammer and to meet the team who put together the catalogue.
It's another beautiful day to talk all things cars, just like the days of the week. I truly believe there's always a day to drop the top and let the convertible come out to play. The name is DJ Sabby, the best in ever, and today we are out in Bryanston and we are at Creative Rides, where you're most likely going to find a beautiful car on the floor, if not all of them. And the man behind this establishment is the one and only Kevin. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank
Very
you.
much.
Let's talk about the journey around this space, because you have beautiful toys all over the floor.
Of course, the beauty is that there's something for everybody. And there's fun in it for everybody, and we all like different things, and there's something that's there emotionally.
Yeah.
And, you know, my dad had a car, my grandfather had a car.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
You know, my grandfather drove me to school in this car. So there's a nostalgia, there's an attachment to cars, and they're different for everybody.
Yeah. Let's talk about the journey for you in cars. You know, when did it begin for you?
Probably at about 4 years old.
For real?
Tiny, small.
Yeah.
Every boy plays with cars. You have a car of some kind, or a tractor or a truck. So you learn to love cars.
When did you realize that, okay, I think now I'm a collector?
I think the reality is if you have more than one.
So after the third one, or the fourth one, or the fifth one?
Then you're in trouble. Then you have to bring the wife in, or the girlfriend in, and she's got to have some love of too. Otherwise, she's going to say to you, "Do you love this car more than me, or do you not?" And it's trouble. So no, the fun you've got to have is with everybody, with your family, and you know, this is an example. You fit your whole family in this, and you go places. And you enjoy it thoroughly. It's exactly that.
It's such a beautiful piece of work.
It's a Brazilian, what we term as a Splitty.
Okay.
I made them from about 1950 to 1967. Sambos, all of the windows that you see, you can look anywhere in the car, you can see out of the car, the windows are everywhere. As a Splitty, you can see why it's called a Splitty. It's got a front window that splits. Safari windows, which pop up, as you can also see. This car has been through nuts and bolts, as we call it, so a ground-up restoration.
Okay.
And generally you find whoever restores it to their own love. To compare a 1950s type vehicle on the road to in today's time, makes it difficult to drive. So they do all kinds of upgrades. You know, we call them resto mods. They do upgrades to the vehicle to make it more drivable and more fun. This car is a very nice example of this. I think the color tone is
beautiful.
Insane. Interior
it's beautiful.
Comes with a nice sound system. We've never had that in its day. But, you know, it's the beauty of it. So, you know, put your family in it, you know, go for an outing, take it up and down a coastal road, have fun.
Yeah.
I think it's short of 1 or 2 boards on the roof.
Yeah, then it's perfect. It's ready.
But it's a stunning example of what it is.
With cars that go through restoration and modification, how far can I take it? Because either you go very modern or you really try to keep it very similar to how it would be like in the 50s.
You have a perfectionist type environment that someone will look for a car that is exactly concourse and perfect and as it came out the factory and complete in terms of originality.
Okay.
And then you've got the other side of it, which is resto mod, use every day, have as much fun as possible. They both would receive good pricing in terms of it. And quite often you're seeing, particularly with muscle cars in the US and worldwide, you're finding a resto modded muscle car is becoming more valuable than a stock standard original car.
Yeah.
Because it's just that much more drivable and people want it because of that. So it makes it something that's a modern day car sitting on in an old look.
Yeah.
And that works extremely well.
For someone watching at home, they're loving this. Ideally, it's the 50s, you've given it an uplift, you've really given it a very modern feel, but still keeping this 50s flair. How much would this go for?
This car will sell anything from 650,000 to over R1 million.
So if I come to an auction for the first time, how do I bid? If already I'm aware that this might go for $1 million, where would you want me to start?
As high as possible.
You heard that, start from as high as possible. How about we actually go to the auction and see how this baby does?
This is the 2022, the built-up status Volkswagen Splitty 23 window. Commonly known all the way from Brazil called the Splitty Samba. We've never seen one of these before, least of all auction one off. For the 23 window Splitty Samba. She's there, she's online, ladies and gentlemen, any over to go now. 700,000 now. At 75, having it 750,000. At 75, 75, 75, 5, 5, 5, 5. At 75, 800, tiny, over to 85. At 850, having it 850, having it 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 now. How much? 930. Having it 930,000. First call, fair warning, it's online. Online, you're out. Floor is in at 930 for a VW Splitty Samba. 930,000 once, 930,000 twice. Third and final call, all in, fair warning, yours call. Sold, sold, sold at 930,000 rands.
In the end, the Samba had no trouble smashing Kevin's bottom estimate of 650,000 Rand, and it got pretty close to reaching the top estimate of $1 million. Will we breach the magical 1 bar mark after the break?
It is a rare car. There were only 190 of them made.
Wow.
Going once, on the floor. Going twice, on the floor. All in, hold done. Third and final call.
In the car world, there are few names that are as evocative as Lamborghini. The Italian tractor manufacturer turned supercar builder is synonymous as much with high performance as it is with outrageous designs. It's evident in this 1984 Yalpa. A few years earlier, however, they designed something that was a little bit more restrained and practical.
One brand when I talk about cars that probably comes to mind, it has to be the Lamborghini. Mark, let's talk about this iconic car.
So this is a 74, runs with a 3-litre V8, which is mounted transverse as opposed to longitudinally in other supercars. Puts out 200 horsepower. The other great thing about it is a rare car. There were only 190 of them made.
Wow.
Just the combination of this particular one with the dark blue and the tan interior, it's just eye-catching. It was an interesting time back in the 70s with the supercar kind of developing, and Lamborghini, with their neighbors just down the road, Ferrari, were definitely capturing that market. So with the Lamborghini, a little bit further back, it started off as a tractor company.
Yeah.
The gentleman that ran the company had this desire to build himself a sports car. That's where Lamborghini found its roots in supercars.
Condition-wise, do you guys do any work with this one? Any modifications?
No, not at all. It's pretty stock.
So if you haven't done a lot of work on a car, does that increase the value, or does it?
It can go both ways.
Okay.
If a car's not maintained, it's not worth its money.
Okay.
If it's maintained, you can ask what you want for it. If it has low mileage, then that adds extra value to it as well.
And I'm sure if it's a Lamborghini, you know,
Well,
most likely going to pay a little bit more.
Italian cars always inspire something in lots of people.
So roughly, how much you think you might get for this one?
Maybe in the millions.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm curious to see how this one is going to play out. It's a Lamborghini. Mark says maybe a good million is what we might get for this car. Let's go back to the auction.
This is a 1976 Lamborghini Rocco P300S. For the P300S, we already have bids incoming online at 500,000 now. 500,000, any other have it selling at 555, 600,000, 7 bids, sir. At 700,000, any other have it selling at 700, at 750,000. Have it selling at 750, selling at 825, 825. Selling at 850, sir. At 85, 85, 85, at 850,000, 85, 85, 5555. At 850,000 once. It's online at 850,000 twice, ladies and gentlemen. 900,000. 900,000 on the Iraqo. 900,000 if you're watching the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I need 950 if it's online. All in. Fair warning online. Going once on the floor. Going twice on the floor at 900,000. All in. Hold up. Third and final call. Sold on the floor at 900,000 rands.
Once again, the bidding ran out of steam just before we reached that elusive 1 million rand mark. Perhaps what is needed to go the distance is something a little newer and a little faster.
This car is scary, and you need to have an advanced driver's course to drive her. You don't see these cars on the road often. You see them on racetracks.
Back in the 1970s, if you wanted to take part in motorsport, you first had to create a small batch of road legal cars. These were called homologation specials. Now the Chevy Can-Am is one of the most famous local examples of this, and the practice still lives on today. One of the most desirable vehicles is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS.
Time for us to unpack another car. This happens to be one of my favorite brands. It's a Porsche. Porsche. This is a GT3 911. If I had the money, I'd give it to you right now.
You can't. You can only buy an auction.
Yeah.
GT3 RS. Naught to 100 in just over 4 seconds.
Yeah.
About the time it takes you to cough or sneeze. Slightly over 300 kilometers an hour. It's It's German automotive precision engineering at its best. The engines are incredibly fast, incredibly strong. You don't see these cars on the road often. You see them on racetracks.
Tell me about the Porsche brand that men love so much, and even women.
Well, it's one of the oldest brands in the world. Dr. Ferdinand Porsche invented the Volkswagen Beetle, then went on to found Porsche many moons ago. Some of the highest auction records in the world are not only held by Ferrari, but also by Porsche.
What kind of person would want to have this car as part of their collection?
Crazy, nuts person, person who needs psychological help. This car is scary. And you need to have an advanced driver's course to drive her. It's not something you can go shopping in because there's no boot. It's not a car you can take the kids on a Sunday afternoon drive because there's no seats in the rear. There's no cruising in this car. There's only one way out, and that's flat out. Find me a GT3 RS that's ever been on auction in South Africa before. There's none. This one was found far away. It's been sitting in a warehouse for many years, hence the incredibly low mileage. And she's absolutely spotless.
She is spotless.
She's also going on auction under the hammer to the highest bidder.
How much do you think we're going to get for this one?
Somewhere in the region between 2 and 3 million. That's a guess. But you never know on an auction. Anything can happen.
So when you start a bid with a car of this kind, where do you normally start?
Depends on where your bidders are, where the crowd is. We'll probably start the bidding on this car at $1 million and take the increments from there and see how the bidders feel.
Oof. Can we feel it?
Sure.
You're gonna drive.
Insurance would be a better thing.
Yes. Let's see how it goes. I'm ready. It says get out the way.
Well, this is why people buy collector cars, because they're fun.
It's like I just went bungee jumping.
Yeah.
It's a very personal decision. It's collector cars elicit a lot of emotion. That's why people want them, because this is my dad drove me to school in the Ford Cortina 3-liter buggy right through high school, and I want one of those to drive my children to school. My dad had a Porsche. I want to own the same Porsche. It's a very emotional thing, and that's the reason. That's the reason people like cars.
Lot number 200, this is a 2007 Porsche GT3 RS 997. Online has already started. 1 million rand in, have it, $1 million to go, have it, 1, sell it $1 million now. Have $1 million to go, have it, 125. At 1,250,000, 155,555 now online. 175, 175, 71 million, 800, have it, 85. 85, you're out, gentlemen, 85, 1.9. At 1 million, have it, 195. 1,950,000 now. 1,975, sir. Hit him with a 2. 2 million. 2 million to go now. Have a GT3 RS 997. Where will you find another one with this mileage, sir? And you have it, sending it 2. First call at 2 million. Second call at 2 million. Fair warning, he's out. You're in, sir. Third and final call. Hammer time. 2 million horse call. Merry Christmas, sir. Sold! That 2 million rand, you got it.
It's not surprising that bidding for this rare and coveted model was fierce, but next week you can definitely expect it to get taken up a notch as a factory original with matching numbers BMW 325 IS goes under the hammer.
As twice, the only matching numbers Evo 2 we've ever had.
We also feature a summer ride from Triumph,
Very, very good road holding, and they are sporty to drive.
and a Ford Mustang with a special twist.
A 350 recreation of the time in 1966. This car is fantastic.